San Jose, California. It's round 8 of the 2005 season as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford.
Heart of the Silicon Valley of California, now the 10th largest city in America and the home to more than $7 billion a year in venture capital investments. And the home of a brand new racetrack, the concrete canyons, the streets of San Jose, where they've been busily assembling and adjusting the racetrack since we arrived here on Thursday. But now it's time to put all that to bed and get set to go racing. Drivers were on hand watching things as Champ Car crews and organizers made adjustments in the course, and now a huge crowd has come to the streets of San Jose for the inaugural Taylor Woodrow Champ Car Grand Prix of San Jose. Beautiful day for racing, 81 degrees, mild humidity, winds out of the northwest at 10, and we expect clear and sunny skies for the balance of the day. Let's take you back 2 weeks. The last time the Champ Cars raced, another brand new event, the airport course in Edmonton, the Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton. Sebastian Bourdais started 10th. Paul Tracy led early. A.J. Almendinger would get by him, and for a time it appeared that Almendinger in the Western Union car from RuSPORT stable was headed to his first career victory. His teammate Justin Wilson, who won at Toronto earlier, had problems preparing for a late restart, cold tires. He spun, and then Almendinger got into the wall in the 10 car, and that would end his day. Heartbreak and sorrow for A.J. Almendinger, and Sebastian Bourdais from the 5th row on the grid. Everything fell his way. The defending series champion added to his points lead by picking up his second win of the year in the McDonald's car number 1. Here's the points chase as we stand now, heading into the second half of 2005. Derek Daly, Bourdais' lead over Tracy, 22 coming here.
And this is not a runaway by any means with this championship. You can look down to the top 5, and I believe the champion can come from any one of those drivers. I think we've got a great fight for the rest of the season.
Tagliani and Dominguez still perhaps in the hunt as well. If you have a Champ Car question you'd like answered on one of our upcoming Speed Channel broadcasts, head to the website, ChampCarWorldSeries.com. Click on Ask the Announcers. Email us your question. We'll get to it before the end of the 2005 season. When we continue, A.J. Almendinger perhaps had his first career win in hand in Edmonton a few weeks ago. Problems, though, as the car got into the wall. We'll find out whether Almendinger can bounce back here in his home area of San Jose.
NASCAR Nation,
where the worlds of entertainment and NASCAR collide.
I knew I could do it. Where's my contract?
Wow, Almendinger, wow.
An all-new NASCAR Nation, Monday through Thursday, 7 Eastern and Pacific, exclusively on Speed.
Inspired by you. Welcome back live to San Jose on Speed with Derek Daly. I'm Rick Benjamin, getting set for the start of the Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix of San Jose. Derek, maybe the most compelling story after Edmonton. What happened to A.J. Almendinger, and how does it affect him going forward to this race confidence-wise?
And it really was one of the stories of the race in Edmonton. We were watching a supremely talented driver exuding confidence, maybe got a little bit cocky, thought he was invincible, and basically threw it all away with a very basic mistake that proved to be so costly as we watched unfold.
And that's a situation you know very well.
Well, it is, yes, but as you look at what happened in Edmonton, you could almost tell what was going to unfold.
Well, let's take you back and have a look at the video from Edmonton, the incidents that led up to A.J.'s retirement from the race.
He's absolutely flying. And Tracy is no longer a problem for him. He knows he can deal with Tracy. Servia is right behind Tracy, then Tag and Bourdais. But right now, I don't see anybody that's going to challenge A.J. Almendinger. Because, sideways. Unless he can challenge himself. Okay, let's have a... Oh, he hit the curb first. Hits the curb. Car begins to bounce sideways. He made a huge mistake. Almendinger is absolutely distraught.
How distraught was he? Well, on Monday morning in the Edmonton newspaper, here's what A.J. had to say. My crew gave me the best car. I threw it away as usual. They need to put a better driver in there. It hurts for me. It hurts for my team. They put the work in. I keep throwing it away. And Derek Daly, his confidence heavily damaged at all.
Well, I think that was a bit of an emotional outburst by A.J. Almendinger. Now, there is an invincible feel sometimes when a driver feels at one with the car, and you can overstep the line. You know how I know? I've been there. done that. I let a big one get away, the Grand Prix of Monaco 1982, leading, about to start the last lap, and the gearbox broke. Why? Because I just wiped the rear wing off 2 laps earlier, being overconfident, almost cocky, and it let a huge one slip away. That's what happened, and I believe he may be a better driver because of that incident as we go forward.
Well, let's see how he feels getting set to start from the second row today. A.J. Almendinger with Chris McClure.
A couple of days ago, A.J. Almendinger told me, yes, I have nightmares, yes, I think about it, but I know intellectually I have to leave it behind me. Now you're on the second row, you're close to home. That's got to help in that endeavor.
Yeah, you know, we've had a struggle so far this weekend, and the team did a great job to get the car up to fourth on the grid. You know, the way I look at it, we got CDW on the car this weekend. Justin brought him a win, so it must be my turn, right?
I would hope so. I really do hope so, as a matter of fact. Tell me about this race course. It's going to get you're going to get beat up a little bit out there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely it's a rough course, you know, very tight, but it's going to lend itself for a lot of mistakes, and mistakes that happen, it lends itself for you can't get away with them. So there's going to be some carnage, I think. You know, I'm trying to get PT, get a little aggressive on the start, make some stuff happen, go win the race.
Thank you. He's got a good shot, guys. So does a guy with Jan.
Yes, and of course, you'd have to say the master of qualifying this year would have to be the driver of the McDonald's machine, Sebastian Bourdais. We'll start from the pole position, but Sebastian, on a very bumpy racetrack, harder on the driver or the car?
I think the car. Unfortunately, it's something we can't really control. In Edmonton, definitely was the driver, but here I think the car gets so many hits, you know, and so hard. I think we measured it was like a 4,000-pound hit over the railroad when the thing hits the ground. So it's among us, and obviously it's not designed for that, but hopefully we can make it through the day and then put the McDonald's car on top.
And the Newman-Haas team has replaced all the parts they think necessary. Sebastian hoping it all holds together. Guys?
So Sebastian Bourdais, the Bridgestone Pole Award winner here in San Jose. Well, Derek, the last few weeks we've been privileged to have Champ Car's Vice President of Operations, Tony Kottman, join us by voice during the course of the broadcast to explain decisions. He's kind of the head referee. He's on the racetrack with us right now to talk a little more about that role as VP of Operations and as the guy who makes the during-race decisions.
And we have actually put Tony on the spot a couple of times. Tony, one was the Glock incident at Edmonton when we weren't quite sure why there was no penalty, but when we look back on it, really, and we got your explanation, how do you make those type of decisions?
Obviously, the key is making a quick and decisive decision. We have a lot of replay that we use from every camera angle we can get. And, you know, in that situation, I think Glock just overcooked the corner. Justin got a run inside him, and, you know, it's really pretty much a racing issue.
Now, Tony, you're down on the racetrack with us right now. This has been a challenging situation, I know, for you here in the streets of San Jose. How raceable will the course be today?
I think we've spent a lot of time, guys have spent a lot of time on especially over the last couple of evenings, getting the course raceable. It's obviously a lot of logistical challenges when you're racing right downtown on the streets like this, but there's nothing better than bringing the racing to the fans.
All right, thank you, Tony Kottman, Champ Car's Vice President of Operations, and the head referee, if you will. Didn't have the striped shirt and the whistle at that time, but he's done a masterful job of making those decisions in the course of the events here this weekend. Well, when we continue in just a couple of moments, we will meet the team that is on the rise in the Champ Car World Series, Carl Russo's RuSPORT team. Second year out there, they've already won their first race. They'll try for 2 here today. One of the rising new teams in the Champ Car World Series, RuSPORT. They bagged their first victory this season just a couple of weeks ago in only their second year of competition. 2 fine young drivers, Wilson and Almendinger, and an owner with an incredible vision, Carl Russo.
AJ Almendinger, Team RuSPORT.
Justin Wilson, Team RuSPORT.
There's a reason the last 5 letters of RuSPORT are sport. That's what this is. The attraction of open wheel racing, in my mind, is it's the most technically precise and demanding form of motorsports. But part of it also harkens back to what I grew up with. When I grew up, a race car didn't have fenders. The principles in my mind are people, culture, process. What people refers to is obviously getting the most talented people that fit your culture. It doesn't necessarily mean they're the best in the world at those positions, because if you went out and built a team of the best in the world at every position, there's no chemistry. The culture at RuSPORT is one of aspiration, and an adherence to people are what makes a difference. You have a clear view of where you want to go, and if the winds push you a little bit this way, you push back.
You put on too much horsepower when you run this slowly, and you simply turn around just like that.
Edmonton was an example of when dominance doesn't dominate. We had two drivers, in Justin Wilson and AJ, that both made small errors that turned into big errors. My biggest concern at the end of that event was that we didn't get down on ourselves. I thought they both drove magnificently. And with all due respect to the great drivers that are in the series, I think we have the two best potential drivers in this paddock. What I like about AJ and what I like about Justin is more times than not, when they make a pass, you have no choice. They're there, it's done. Bang. They are friends. But you know, they raced wheel to wheel at Portland last year as rookies. Wheel to wheel out of the pit lane, for heaven's sakes. If they can't figure out how to race wheel to wheel as teammates, I'd be amazed. They're both racers to their cores. And the last piece is, they're both nice guys. They're both good guys. To me, what is so captivating about motor racing is it is visceral. I don't know anyone that comes out to a Champ Car race and doesn't leave a fan. They can't believe the sensations of what they're feeling. And I'm unquestionably happy for this team of people when they do well. Not for me, for them. Because I understand what they go through. It's a privilege to be a part of it.
Select Tech for just $7 a month today.
Back live on Speed from the streets of San Jose, preparing for the inaugural Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix of San Jose with Derek Daly. I'm Rick Benjamin inside 11 minutes until they fire the motors and we go green. Let's open up the Champ Car toolbox, Derek Daly. The racetrack, an issue, and the issue who will race the track the best, I guess, today.
Well, we have used words like punishing, demanding physically, and brutal sometimes. Well, this new track here at San Jose is all of those and more because it's got interesting challenges. Just have a look across the railway tracks on the front straight here. Look at Nelson Philippe, all four wheels in the air, and then crashes back down to land, hopefully, with all four wheels on the ground and on the car. Now, they've made improvements here every evening. However, at a first-time facility, it is pretty tough, it is pretty demanding, it is brutal, it's all of that, but it's the same for everybody. Let's go racing.
Now, hometown heroes, AJ Almendinger, we've talked about him, he's from nearby.
Well, I wonder will we see an emotional outburst of a different kind with AJ Almendinger. Reason being, there is no doubt he is going to win a race. Imagine the Cinderella story if he won right here. He grew up in Hollister, a town just a little bit down the road from here. I think that will be a great story that is unfolding maybe today.
And a new opportunity, perhaps. We've seen some unusual names at the top of the speed charts.
And Nelson Philippe leads them. He is in the top 6 here. In fact, he's been there all weekend long. Spectacular run of the Wellbox car. But Dale Coyne's cars with Bremer and Sperafico are a lot faster than they appear on the grid. I think they'll do very well today also.
We shall see. Let's get a closer look at this facility. Our track map. Derek, take us around this 1.4-mile course.
Very unusual. You go down past the front straight. This is the first set of railway lines that you see here. Now there's a change right here that I'll show you in just a couple of seconds. You come down to a very slow first gear Toyota hairpin. It's a drag race here up to turn 5. This is a very slow left-hander. Turn 4, then it widens out here. Very bumpy down through here. Railway tracks across here. You'll see it from our onboard cameras. Then into the brake zone. Down to second gear here. Very tight. Concrete canyon, so the concrete's everywhere. Last corner, fairly basic right-hander. Peel off to the pits on the left-hand side. And as you come across the start-finish line right here. Now, the change is happening right about here, because the speed at the end of the straight was in excess of 175 miles an hour. So Tony Cotman on Friday night inserted a chicane. And you see it right here. The cars peel off and go through this chicane. People, when they saw it, said it's way too tight. Believe it or not, it's actually been quite good. It has done its job, slowed cars down, but it's another interesting aspect that all these drivers and teams, Rick, now have to cope with.
Absolutely, Derek. Well, let's see what the drivers are seeing as they drive this racetrack. We call this On the Edge. We're going to take a ride around this race course now. 11 turns, 1.4 miles with Justin Wilson, the Intel number 9. Derek, talk about what Justin sees here.
Our On the Edge this week is high speed and spectacular. Watch the railway lines coming up right here. Boom, boom, boom. You hear the car fight for grip. 165 miles an hour. Here's the new chicane. Second gear over the curbs. Acceleration, first gear. Look him cross his hands. Over the concrete patch. Up through the gears, turn 4. Watch how narrow turn 4 is. All the way down in a funnel effect. And then a chicane thrown in right here. Now it opens up. Turn 6. Wide, fast, very bumpy. Railway tracks. Right there again. Very bumpy in the brake zone. Third gear. Hard on the power again. Down to corner 11. Up to 5th gear. Hard brake. Turn right. 2nd gear. Fight the steering wheel and blast down through the start-finish line.
That is On the Edge with Justin Wilson and my colleague Derek Daly. Well, the motors have fired here in San Jose. The field rolling off on a series of pace laps. When we continue on speed, we'll be back for the green flag, the Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix of San Jose.
7 rounds in the books and 7 to go. We're halfway through the 2005 season.
J.D. Wilbur waves the checker flag over Sebastian Bourdais.
The best open-wheel racing in the world.
Paul Tracy wins his 4th Champ Car event here in Milwaukee. Early stop for Cristiano D'Amato.
This is all about strategy.
The Bell Micro team wins their 1st Champ Car World Series race. Heading for the checkers in Cleveland. Paul Tracy is your winner.
And the series is good. A youthful stable of drivers push the limits.
Oh, trouble. Almendinger clouts the wall on top. Gets hit by Mario Dominguez.
Burning rivalries have formed.
Oh, Tracy beats him out. Oh, no, he doesn't. Knocks part of the wing off Tracy's car. Contact.
Tracy
staying on the racetrack with half a front wing.
What's
out
going
of
on?
fuel. Tracy has apparently run out of fuel. Checker flag waving over Justin Wilson of Northampton, England.
New races have run, and new fans have cheered.
Have a look at what happened to Almendinger.
He made a huge mistake.
So Bourdais benefits.
The series is good. 500,000 fans came in July alone. This is Champ Car. This series is good.
Best in the world, baby. Best in the world.
And welcome back to the streets of San Jose. We are live on speed for the Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix of San Jose, round 8 of the 2005 Champ Car World Series Championship. Our starting lineup today. On the pole, his 3rd Bridgestone Pole Award of 2005, the driver of the McDonald's #1, Sebastian Bourdais, out of Temple Terrace, Florida. Alongside his teammate, the Pacific Care #2, driven by Oriol Serbia.
Row 2 is headed by Paul Tracy himself in the Index car beside the hometown hero, maybe Almendinger in the CDW car.
3rd row on the inside, the Index #7, Mario Dominguez from Mexico, and Nelson Felipe, who races out of Florida, now the Wellbox 34.
And a great performance by Timo Glock in the DHL Global Mail car from Rockford for some Bjorn Wertheim. Good run for him.
Row #5, Justin Wilson, the Toronto winner, the Intel #9, Jimmy Vasser, and the Gulfstream Taylor Woodrow #12.
Row 6, Andrew Ranger, the MyJack Tide car struggled a bit this weekend, and Rodolfo Levin returns to Champ Car.
In the 8th row, or make it the 7th row, the Bell Micro 21, Cristiano D'Amato, the 2002 Series champion, Ricardo Spirifico, and the Sonny's Barbecue 11.
Row 9 has Row 8, Ryan Hunter-Ray beside Ronnie Bremer, who is much faster than he appears on this grid.
And the Derek Walker Rossi Vineyards teammates, Tagliani and Marshall, tag the field. Tagliani's had mechanical issues here much of the weekend. On board views today, points leader Sebastian Bourdais, who won at Edmonton 2 weeks ago. He'll have a view for us out the front of the McDonald's car #1. We'll ride with Justin Wilson in the SanDisk Intel car, Derek, and he's kind of struggled this week.
Justin Wilson has not been able to absorb the bumps or the curbs like some of the faster guys that made a lot of changes prior to today. On board now with Jimmy Vasser.
The Gulfstream car for Vasser, he really has had problems with the roughness of the course.
Complained of a headache in the morning warm-up this morning. Ryan Hunter-Ray has got problems already.
Hunter-Ray in the Cytomax 31. Now, he wrecked in the morning warm-up. They've repaired the car, but evidently it was unable to continue throughout the pace laps. Looks as though Hunter-Ray in the 31 will not take the green. Bourdais will be on the front row with Serbia. Tracy will start right behind him. Serbia lining up behind Bourdais as they come around the final corner. decision made to call for a single file start?
That was a decision made by Bourdais, I believe, because as soon as he got himself onto this front straight, he began to go. But from what I saw going over those railway tracks, I'm glad they were in single file.
Cars tangling down in the Toyota hairpin. Caution down there. Sperafico in the 11 and his teammate in the 19 car, Ronnie Bremer, who struggled yesterday. They've gotten together. So the two Dale Coyne mates are stalled on the racetrack, and they will stay green for now, but at least a local caution. Bourdais is out in front of the McDonald's one, and here's what happened.
And that is a great shame. It looks like
one of the Aussie Vineyards cars got into the back end of it. Looked like Vasser there.
And then, of course, it was a bit of an accordion effect all the way back as they checked up, and it left the two Dale Coyne cars. But have a look at the slow-mos here over the railway tracks. This is unbelievable. A sight you seldom see with single-seater racing cars. This resembles off-road rallycross. Man, I've never seen anything like that.
Those are quite impressive whoops here on the front straightaway, no doubt about it. We stay green as they work the Toyota hairpin to take care of the Coyne cars. They got together. There'll be a local caution only down there. Justin Wilson rolling by Mario Dominguez. One lap on the board. Bourdais and Serbia, Tracy and Almendinger, Dominguez and Nelson Philippe, the running order. Leader is Bourdais. 2 wins so far this season. He won at Edmonton, first time up there at the City Center Airport course. And Bourdais with a significant lead already over Serbia. Chris McClure, what about the view from where you're standing?
Spectacular view here in turn 3, the hairpin. Now, Derek told you a while ago that they reduced the approach speed to this corner considerably with the chicane, but car positioning is still critical. If you're right up against the wall here entering the corner, you might not get out the other side. The radius is too tight. It's the tightest hairpin in the series. You want to be a lane or a lane and a half wide out there as you approach the corner. That sets you up for the apex on through. As they funnel through, it'll usually be in single file fashion. 100 feet from outside wall to outside wall. So will they pass in here as they approach and get through? Probably not, but I saw one driver quoted as saying that if you get to the apex down to the inside of someone you want to pass, flip the throttle and actually pivot the apex, you might get away from here on the inside and make the pass. But Derek, I'll tell you something. I've got to see that before I'll believe it.
I actually saw Chris Vasser do that this morning in the warm-up. However, it tortures the tires as Sperafico's Dale Coyne car. What a shame, because he has run in the top 5, believe it or not, in many of the practice sessions. He had a crash in practice or in qualifying yesterday. Otherwise, that Dale Coyne car would be much further up the grid certainly than we see it now.
And we have a full course caution, 3 laps upcoming. The 11th car, Sperafico, the Sonny's barbecue machine with a broken suspension piece. They've got to tow him in. We'll be back in San Jose. Welcome back live to the streets of San Jose on Speed. I'm Rick Benjamin, Derek Daly alongside the Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix of San Jose, first one ever, and we are under caution after a couple of laps. Ricardo Sperafico with a broken suspension piece. Speed Channel putting you, fans, in the director's chair. If you like American Le Mans, Grand Am, or IROC, get the Speed On-Board Pass. $4.99 a race, multiple race cameras, onboards, and more. Live timing and scoring, exclusive live audio. Hit the car. SpeedTV.com. Go to the website. Sign up now. Here's another look at what happened, Derek Daly, as they came to the Toyota hairpin the first time.
And watch Tagliani right here. He smacks the back of D'Amata, and then watch what happens here. Look at Sperafico right there. See? He clips the back of Tagliani trying to get out of his way. He literally got trapped. Look at this. Right front suspension over the back of Tag. Breaks it. Lucky he didn't take Bremer, his teammate, right here. But great replay there.
Getting ready for a restart, working lap number 5, final corner. This is 11. One straightaway here. Bourdais leads Serbia, Tracy 3rd. 4th spot belongs to Almendinger. 5th is Dominguez, 6th is Philippe, 7th is Glock, 8th is Verdheim. Chicane to 3.
I've never, ever seen anything like that. Serbia yesterday was adding new padding to his seat. It was so punishing. And this morning we heard Vasser said, unless we do something, I'm going to have the headache within a couple of laps.
Sebastian Bourdais, a couple of car lengths to lead over his teammate Oriol Servia on the Pacific Care 2 car. This is turn 6 up onto the backstretch. There's a little chicane here. They call it 7, 8, and 9 by turn number. And then up to 10, which is a more than 90-degree right, where Bourdais is right now.
Yeah, it's over the railway tracks in 2 different positions on the racetrack. And Bourdais was very haphazard with his laps yesterday. He'd throw a quick one in, then you wouldn't see much for a while, then he'd throw another quick one in. The fact is, there's so many cars out here in a 1.5-mile track that we're all out trying to do a lap at the same time. Because street races, street circuits get faster the more rubber that goes down.
Now this is a timed event today. Champ Car was unable to measure accurately the dimension of the course because they didn't get the course until Friday for all intents and purposes. So the decision was made early in the week. An hour 45 minutes by time here today. We believe it'll be somewhere between 90 and 100 laps. By the way, Ryan Hunter-Reay in the 31 car, the Cytomax machine, they were able to refire it. He has not missed a lap. He's back in 17th, but on the lead lap. The only car behind the wall, Ricardo Spirafico, Sonny's Barbecue number 11. He was punted there as the cars entered turn 3 just a few moments ago. There's Servia running in second spot, providing rear flank support for his lead teammate, Sebastian Bourdais.
Only qualified 0.06 of a second slower than Bourdais, and the man, of course, who drove the car earlier, Bruno Jonquera, is also here. He is here this weekend. He says his recovery is on track, if not ahead of what they expected. So he's hoping to be back in the car. Wow! I've never seen anything like this. This is unbelievable footage. Now, there's a question mark about the start. As we go back and have a look at it here, you can clearly see that Bourdais does not wait for Servia. Look at these boys. They're all in a line here. It looked to me as if that might be a somewhat pre-planned straight line start, but I'm not sure. Jan?
Well, that is exactly what Neil Mickelride, who of course looks after Paul Tracy, had to say. I said, why was Paul Tracy not in position at the start? Was it a single file start? He said, well, it was single file for Newman Haas. They obviously planned it that way. We could not get in position because they had pre-planned how they wanted to do it. We had no choice but to hang back behind Servia.
Paul Tracy finds himself third in the index number 3, second in the championship. Tracy led laps at Edmonton but had brake problems, and Derek, we've seen a lot of drivers struggle with braking here, probably because of the new nature of the racetrack.
Exactly. Braking issues were prevalent with almost every car in the very first session. Brake discs were about 1,200 degrees and calipers above 400 degrees. When you get above 500, the fluid becomes almost a gas. You get that spongy pedal. But Derek Dong from Performance Friction is probably one of the busiest men here this weekend. They've all gone to the biggest air ducts to get air into the brakes to cool them down, bigger than they use here or anywhere else throughout the season.
Riding with Paul Tracy, running in third in the index number 3. A short straightaway down to the final couple of corners. Tracy had to start third, Derek, because in qualifying he thought he'd been held up.
Yeah, and actually he was livid again with this man here, Servia. Watch him coming in behind him. He comes in, look, 4 times you held me up. And Tracy, as you know, wears his emotions on his sleeve. The difficulty here, though, is you just have to try and find a clear up in qualifying, and almost every driver gets held up at some time.
How about the run Nelson Philippe's putting together in the Wellbox 34? Just turned 19, 4th, 5th, and 6th in play. 4th spot belongs to Almendinger in car number 10, wearing the CDW colors here today. Then you've got Dominguez in the index machine, and Nelson Philippe riding right there with him.
In the Wellbox now. Dominguez in the morning warm-up where they fill the car full of fuel. You go out and run in race conditions. He was actually the fastest man on the racetrack, so we do expect great things from him. But Nelson Philippe, this was not a fluke in qualifying. This is the MyJack Conquest team. Philippe in the Wellbox car has been fast every single session. And there's an air of confidence about him this weekend. And he will openly tell you his relationship between Don Bricker, his engineer, is beginning to blossom, where Don Bricker understands what this driver needs. And remember, he's 19 years old. That's all he is.
Very fast.
Yeah, so 19 years old, Nelson Philippe, having by far his finest day here, running in 6th, trying to hold off Timo Glock in the yellow Rocket Sports car right behind him. This is a great street fight.
There are a few more iconic cars ever made in America than the Ford Mustang. Champ Car star Jimmy Vasser is no different than any Ford fan.
Well, mine's a 65 GT convertible, automatic steering and air conditioned. It's got the high performance 289, 270 horsepower engine. Any collection, I think, really should have a 65 Mustang in it, the classic Icon.
Vasser takes his connection to Ford even further. He loves the new Mustang, and after all, he's a Ford dealer.
Natural progression for me, you know, being involved in Champ Car, which Ford is the sole power plant. I think Ford's got a great product line. The new Ford GT is one of the more fantastic cars of recent era, and the GT 500 Mustang that's going to be coming out. I'm proud to not only drive with a Ford power plant, but to represent Ford in the marketplace.
Working lap number 15 in the streets of San Jose. On speed, the Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix of San Jose. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. I'm Rick Benjamin, Derek Daly alongside Jan Vikas, Chris McClure on pit road. 15 laps on the board. Sebastian Bourdais a 3.6-second lead. But Derek Daly, it has not been an uneventful period for a couple of drivers. First, A.J. Almendinger. We thought he'd be a hometown hero today.
You can't make mistakes like this. Look at this right side. Boom! He kisses the concrete wall. We're going to show you another angle of it here. And at the point of impact, we slow it down. Boom! That breaks the right front suspension at that point of impact. You can see how hard he hits it. Look, roll it forwards. He's out of the lines. He's lost the grip. Boom! Breaks the right front suspension. He is done. A.J. Almendinger is a one-man highlight reel this year.
Almendinger very unhappy, but he's with Jan Vikas.
And still unhappy. He just saw the replay himself. He just saw the replay. What happened inside the car?
Same thing that happens every weekend now, just brain fed. So, you know, I don't know. Can't explain it.
What about the track conditions? We saw some dust just as you got wide there. Are there some sections over the patches that are more slippery?
Yeah, it's really slippery out there, but it's slippery for everybody, so they're getting around it.
I know it's a tough time to try and think about this, but you're trying to regain your momentum. How do you set this aside and move on from here and get back on track?
I don't know. I haven't learned yet. I keep doing this every weekend, so you got any ideas? You tell me, because I don't.
Thank you, AJ.
Wow. Have you ever seen a more direct, emotional response from a driver who knows the mistake he just made again, has just lost all the work? Now, I will tell you, as Jimmy Vasser comes into the pits, Carl Russo, who runs that team, you remember from the top of our show, he will tell AJ that the most important...
Hey, if it's a push rod, let's get one on it. All right, we got one, let's get it on.
If it's a push rod, which is a suspension piece that activates the shock absorber, let's get one on us. Bjorn Verdheim is right behind Ranger also. But back to my point about Carl Russo, he will make sure he gets to his driver, A.J. Almendinger, and say, look, you made a mistake, forget it, and move on. Don't carry this as baggage.
Now, moments ago, riding with Jimmy Vasser, Andrew Ranger had problems in the rear end. He whacked the wall as well. Came to pit road with a problem with the MyJack Tide car.
Same corner.
Well, Andrew just taking a peek at the TV screen. You were pitched into the wall apparently, but I think the car broke down in the middle.
Yeah, something wrong. I think the track, it's not bumpy here. It's unbelievable. It's not the Champ Car track. You know, you come in a corner, your tire go away, you're flying. It's not the racetrack, you know. I think it's a great event. The car was good. It's just, I just come in a corner, have a big push. The car was a little bit loose. I just brushed the wall and the engine broke.
Engine broke down at the mounts between the tub and the engine. And for the record, that's what did it. There's oil all over the ground in here.
Well, they had a little fire in the hole, too, when he came to pit road. Ranger out safely, and that's good news. Bourdais on a Sunday drive. Serbia running second, working lap 19. We saw Bjorn Verdheim. He was black flagged just a moment ago. He came to pit road for a stop-and-go penalty. Paul Tracy rides third. Here he comes in the index number 3. Then Dominguez. You were talking earlier about A.J. Almendinger. Jimmy Vasser wanting them to repair the suspension on the Gulfstream Lola, the 12 car, so that he could get back in the race. But already, Derek, Daly, we've only run 15 minutes. We've run 19 laps. Lots of attrition.
And we suspected this would happen. And as Ranger said, now remember, Ranger's only 18 years old, so you can blame the racetrack. Bourdais is driving around exactly the same corners, as is Serbia, Tracy, and Dominguez. So you got to handle it. Nelson Felipe, his teammates, also do the same thing. But Dominguez right now is running faster than the 3 cars ahead of him. Bourdais, Serbia, and Tracy are being reeled in by Dominguez, who was the fastest man on the warm-up this morning.
Watching Nelson Felipe, the Wellbox 34 for the MyJack team. They've got tires out.
Oh, no, it's broken.
Philippe may be done as well. He's got a problem, it appears. They're readying on pit road for the Wellbox car. Philippe was running 5th. Still under power.
Okay, we see you coming in.
That is Don Bricker, his engineer, is on the radio, but he is making it way to the pit lane so slowly, he is losing gobs of time here. The engine looks like it's misfiring. I see it.
I really don't know what it is.
That is Nelson.
Okay, I thought you said tire, but the oil pressure is like really low. Is it motor? Yes, the motor. The motor. Listen.
You see his head bobbing back and forth. That's like switching an ignition switch on and off. Chris?
Well, they're going through a routine pit stop. He's flipping the throttle and waving at the pit stand. Should I cut it off? And now he gets the radio report, cut it off, and he shuts down the engine. They had the tires on and the fuel in, but he's not going anywhere.
Well, a missing motor certainly will give you a rough ride.
Take a look here. The oil pressure's really low. I don't know if we got a leak or something someplace.
Ryan Hunter-Ray behind the tire barriers of the Cytomax car. Remember that he didn't take the green flag initially. He was off course without power. They did get him refired and back out there. Champ Car Safety Team number 1, Lon Bromley, John Mull, Bill Kinsey, Mark Kester, all moving Hunter-Ray behind the wall into a safe point. Right now, only 12 cars on the racetrack. Here's Bourdais already in lap traffic. That would be Marcus Marshall in the 5 car, the Aussie Vineyards machine that Bourdais would have just gotten by. He's balking the Pacific Care 2 of Serbia. This allows Tracy and Dominguez, the 2 in-deck teammates, to close in, and Marshall will move over on the backstretch, let those cars roll by.
And all Marshall wants to do today is to survive. He had his best result 2 weeks ago in Edmonton, so this will be survival of the fittest. We said that at the top of the show. The fastest man may not necessarily win this race. And in Edmonton, we expected a lot of the first half of the race. We didn't get it, and it all then broke loose towards the end. We're not even halfway through, and already we see drivers beginning to fight these machines as this race continues. See Wertheim lock up the brakes again into that hairpin. This is where Almendinger crashed. You got to be so careful when you turn in. You just run out of room on the outside, so you got to be positioned and committed on the power, knowing that you are not going to kiss that concrete wall.
Leaders catching Bjorn Wertheim in the Eurosport number 4. Your leader is Sebastian Bourdais. We just showed you how Nelson Felipe had to bring his car to pit road with an engine misfire. Chris McClure?
It was a misfire. Low oil pressure is my understanding. Is that correct?
I don't know yet. I mean, I was staying off the big chicane and going off to the right like the officials told us to, and really avoiding the bump. But I mean, I don't know, something went wrong with the oil pressure. I don't know why. It's too bad. We're running a great race. I'm sure we had a podium car for sure. And I mean, it wasn't my day. It's all right. We'll come back in Denver even meaner, so it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you.
Now Philippe qualified 6th, was running 5th due to the retirement of Almendinger, was turning in a very nice ride here today. Now, Derek, would you have an engine problem because of a rough racetrack? Could that be caused by what we're seeing here?
One of the problems that Serbia had yesterday was the oil was being thrown out of the oil tank into the catch tank. I don't know whether anything like that happened here, but this is so bumpy, it is possible that that is a contributing factor to the mechanical problems.
Riding with Paul Tracy, watching Tracy in 3rd, leading his teammate Dominguez. Your leader, Sebastian Bourdais, the McDonald's number 1. Hey, brand new feature for you on Champ Car Telecasts on Speed. Visit the website, champcarworldseries.com. Click on Ask the Announcers and email us your question. Our question today looks like this. In past seasons, this is from Ron Payne, Middlebury, Vermont. Many ragged race starts have been waved off in the past. What is race control doing in 2005 to make the drivers behave? We'll get an answer for you when we continue from San Jose. Blue skies, palm trees, and huge crowds welcoming the Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix of San Jose as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. With Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin. Full course yellow on lap number 26. Debris on the race course. So right now we will expect the pits to be open momentarily, and we do expect the leaders to come to pit road. Hey, Monday through Thursday night at 7 on Speed, an all-new NASCAR Nation with Leanne Tweeden. Off-track, in-depth, and into the lives of NASCAR superstars. It's NASCAR Nation, life beyond the fast lane. Monday through Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern, exclusively here on Speed. Well, we've seen a lot here in the early moments of this one as we are timed today to an hour 45. Didn't know how long the laps would take or how many laps they'd be able to get in, so the decision made to stick with the standard hour 45 time limit. Listening just for Justin Wilson's radio.
Onward, power down. Pits are open. You will pit this lap. Do you copy that?
Wilson getting the call that he will come in this time around as the safety car is out on the track. Hey, earlier today, the Toyota Atlantic Series, Catherine Legg picks up her third win of 2005, her second straight, ahead of David Martinez, Charles Swolsman. A big weekend for the Toyota Atlantic Series. It'll be the Champ Car Atlantic Championship in years to come. Brand new Swift race car, larger car, tires will change, and the engines will pick up considerable horsepower. There'll be 300 horsepower Cosworth motors. Most of all, Derek, I think most impressively, a $2 million scholarship program for the Atlantic champion to move into Champ Car each year.
$2 million to the winner to advance his career, and that is what the Atlantic has been positioned, a pure driver training ground with the idea that you advance to these racing cars here. I actually watched the Atlantic race today, and Catherine Legg, I think, had her most impressive win of all. This is such a tough race, and she hounded Swolsman for the whole race before she passed him around the outside. It really was a pretty impressive run.
Come from fourth to first in a Spec Car Series in 45 laps. Not easy to do. Catherine Legg with a terrific run here today. Let's take a look at the Roush Fronts Rookie of the Year standings in Champ Car. Timo Glock has taken control of this battle within a battle over Andrew Ranger, Ronnie Bremer. Ranger out of competition today. Timo Glock fifth. Derek, he's looked better and better as the weeks have gone by for the Rocket Sports team in that DHL 8 car.
He really has, and in fairness, the Rocket Sports team lost their way from an engineering side midway through the season. This weekend, they've come here on fire.
Down here on the end.
Much faster than normal. That is Kenny Seawick guiding our race leader, Bourdais, into his pit. Everybody is in, Jan.
Yeah, and I would expect that he will take a full load of fuel because they're stopping in the early part of the window. A half turn of front wing. Wow, that was quick. 8.3 seconds. And Paul Tracy picks up a spot. He gets past Oriol Servia. And a drag race for Justin Wilson as well.
Drag racing off pit road, key to these Champ Car World Series events. Bourdais leaving first. Tracy comes off pit road second. He's setting up for another Toronto, Derek Daly.
Tracy did exactly what they did in Toronto. They watched Servia, knowing they wanted to pass him, and short-filled and sent him away. Jan?
And I think it was very interesting how fast we saw Sebastian Bourdais leave. That wasn't a short fill, but I don't know that it was a full. I don't think they wanted to take a chance on waiting for every ounce of fuel. They didn't want to lose track position. Chris?
Jimmy Vasser's crew responded to his request. It was a suspension push rod that buckled in the back of the car. He said, let's fix it. Headache or not, I want to race. They've got it fixed. He's out there. Hats off to these guys. What a job.
Jimmy Vasser has missed 11 laps, but carrying the Taylor Woodrow logos on the car today, along with Gulfstream, he will be back for the restart as we remain under full course caution. Timed race today. We've run 32 minutes, a little less than an hour 15 to go through the streets of San Jose. Watching the McDonald's #1 of Bourdais. He's led all the way from the pole. Paul Tracy out jumping Oriol Servia on pit road. So Tracy in the index #3 will restart in second spot. Servia will line up third in the Pacific Air car #2.
As you look at Bourdais, I just want to point out again, just have a look here. We've seen this a few times, but look, they lean over. Look, 1, 2. Adjustments on the front wing, so Bourdais is making a setup change to his car. They can add wing or take it off. The left front man did the adjustment there. The right front tire guy can make an adjustment on his side. They only did the left side,
But nice little change for Bourdais in addition to filling up with gas.
Now, does that allow you to turn the car better? As we check Bourdais' incredible record this season, he hasn't been outside the top 6. He's made every lap of competition but one. He's led all the way here today.
Absolutely. You turn the wing up.
The champ car is saying they're going to send the jet out there to blow through 4, 5, and 6.
So they're going to bring one of the track blowers and dryers out to try to clean the surface.
There's 4 right there. Look at all the autographs on the right side. That was where AJ Almendinger hit. That was where Ranger hit. So it's got to be so dusty they believe they just need to blow it off for safety reasons.
And they have put new concrete patching down each day of this event. Friday, Saturday nights it's happened, and they have laid down new concrete through that complex again, the 4, 5, and 6 complex, as Bourdais takes him around under caution on the backside. Now, Ronnie Bremer has not stopped. He's being shown as the leader in front of Bourdais in the Dale Coyne, the AMR number 19. We'll be back with more from San Jose. Driving the Pacific Air number 2, Oriol Servia, looking for his first career win. He will restart 4th when we go green. Now, we mentioned Ask the Announcer a few moments ago. We have a question from a gentleman in Vermont, and the question referred to improving the starts. In years past, Derek, a lot of starts waved off. Things have been a lot better this year, maybe until today, but what is race control doing differently?
I might just say 2 words, Tony Cotman. Tony Cotman, since he took over as race director, has a stern voice, but there's a confidence about what he says, and I just think the drivers are adhering to what he asks for, which is more orderly starts. Except for today, we saw a ragged start and a single file start that was waved, that was allowed to go green, and maybe this is just extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, because how do you see that issue?
Well, Derek, I think the reason they went green today is because both the Newman Haas drivers, who of course qualified 1st and 2nd, went to the starter to have their front row meeting like they always do, and I understand what they proposed was, let us handle the start and we'll be sure there's not an accident on the first lap. So they sold the fact that they would bring them up how they wanted to keep everybody clean. Yes, it was clean, but certainly advantaged Newman Haas.
I see. So the prisoners are running the asylum from now on. And they got away with it, too.
One suspects that might be the only time we see that happen this year. Hey, a programming note for you custom bike fans. Build or Bust, a new night, new time. Tuesday nights at 9 Eastern and Pacific on Speed. Anyone can ride a bike, but can you build a killer custom chopper in 30 days? Find out. Build or Bust. A new day and time, I should say. Tuesdays, 9 Eastern and Pacific. Only here on Speed. Looking for a restart now. One question comes to mind. Ronnie Bremer will be the restart leader in the 19, the Dale Coyne AMR car. Bremer electing not to make his pit stop now. This is the reverse of the strategy that won for Cristiano Damata in Portland, Derek.
It is indeed, and the American Medical Response Car, believe it or not, they have their ambulances stationed around the racetrack here, so a big day for Bremer. Of course, we saw Servia in this car at the start of the season, but Bremer, I'm not saying he has the speed to lead this convincingly, but he has been really fast, top 5 or 6 every practice session. Unfortunately, he did not have a good qualifying session. He touched the wall, I believe, and so Ronnie Bremer out in front. A driver who's on loan from HVM. They want him back for next year. Now let's see what he's made of.
Single file over the stripe. Bremer moves to a substantial lead over Bourdais, Tracy, Servia, Dominguez, and Justin Wilson, who's celebrating his 26th birthday here today. There's Vasser and the Taylor Woodrow Gulfstream 12 car back out on the racetrack. There is Bremer in the AMR 19.
So Bremer now is lap 33. We estimate that in racing conditions you can do about 35 laps on a full tank of fuel.
Rodolfo Levine has spun the 55, the HVM, the Ansan car. He wants help. Levine pretty quick. He was running 10th on the restart, making his return to Champ Car from Mexico. Corona Beer, his backer.
And can they grab him out of the way with the local yellow? You'll see it here. It's again down to the hairpin. Down to the hairpin. Levin comes down the inside here. Look, ooh, he makes a big mistake. Tries to go down the inside. Realize he's not going to be able to make it. Locks up the rear brakes. That's what causes him to spin on the way in. And they did. They grabbed him. They got him out of the way so as they can deal with just a local yellow.
They were trying to dive bomb. Levine was trying to dive bomb Alex Tagliani for 9th spot. Now Bremer continues to lead in the Toyota hairpin. Bourdais right behind him this time. He's going to have to stop Bremer is within a couple of laps there.
And Bourdais knows that. So Bourdais does not need to be a big hero here and stick his nose down the inside and get it chopped off. But all the flag wavers that you see here, they are pretty much from the San Francisco area of the SCCA. They've all come down here to support this event. And without those type of workers here that give tirelessly, this type of event could not be run as safely as they are run.
Second spot, Bourdais, the McDonald's #1, third to Tracy. Ronnie Bremer will have to head to pit road shortly. Now let's have a look at the front straightaway.
If you weren't with us earlier on, just have a look. This is like a steeplejack in a horse race. This is the railway line. They'll go across 2 places on the racetrack. And this is punishment for the racing cars and the drivers inside. I mean, that is just unreal, particularly if you focus on the rear wing. Just see how much these suspensions move around.
Paul Tracy in the index #3, third spot, second behind Bourdais of the cars that have already stopped. Let's listen again to what happens on the front straightaway.
Yeah, move back from your television screen because this is pretty spectacular in real speed. Look at this. All I can say is, yikes.
Yeah, because you know they're on the button full when they hit those tracks on the front straightaway. What kind of load does it put on the gearbox and the rear suspension?
Well, it puts a huge load on all the mechanics, especially, like you said, driveline, gearbox. And Newman Haas was one of those teams that was up late last night, replacing all those components just in case. But think about Paul Tracy. We talked about what the bumps can do to a car. Believe it or not, it has somehow affected his drink bottle. He cannot get any fluid in the car. They don't know if the bumps have dislodged the actual bag that holds the water or somehow affected the switch on the steering wheel. But Paul Tracy right now, no water on a hot day.
He's a horse. Have you ever seen him in his muscle vest before he pulls up his uniform? He's a horse.
Shouldn't bother him at all.
Not at all. Now, Bremer is really pretty spectacular here. Now, we know he's in a lighter car because they're all full of fuel behind him. But Bremer just ran a lap, 56.1, which is a second faster than the McDonald's car here with Sebastian Bourdais.
So he's got a lead of 1.8 seconds, which you can't see him on the racetrack in a situation like that. Not a lot of distance, though. He has to stop. Maybe he's going to try a splash and go and try to catch a yellow.
Oh, if he could get a yellow now, it would really suit him. Well, the rest of the guys wouldn't come in, so he'll go to the back anyway because it's not late enough. Because everybody will stay out. But hey, he's out leading the race. Look at the suspension movement on Sebastian Bourdais' car as he goes over those bumps. That's the key. Try and get the shock absorbers to absorb the road. Here's your pop-off valve. See this here? Just look how much the pop-off valve moves around. Now remember, that is bolted solidly to the engine, which is bolted solidly to the chassis. And the gearbox is bolted on right behind here. They are what they call stressed members, and yet the torque of the engine, just look how much that pop-off valve that regulates the amount of turbocharger boost that goes into the engine, which in turn regulates the amount of horsepower, which is 750 horsepower on current day Ford Champ Car engines.
Ford Cosworth power to pass telemetry for Sebastian Bourdais, who runs second, first among those who've already stopped. Ryan Hunter-Reay, they've repaired the Cytomax Rocket Sports 31. Hunter-Reay ready to go again, eh, Chris?
Yes, indeed. They had some suspension parts that buckled on the bumps. He got out of the car a while ago, got a drink of water, relaxed a bit. Now he's put his driver's suit back on, and he's going to rejoin the competition. Many, many laps down, but at least he's going to be out there in just a second. The motor is running.
Ryan Hunter-Reay being shown 19 laps behind the leaders right now, but 15th because several cars, 3, are already behind the wall. Watching Sebastian Bourdais, the McDonald's #1 pole sitter here. And among those who stopped during the last full course caution, he is the race leader. Paul Tracy, who got around Oriol Servia on that pit stop as they came off pit road. Tracy in second, Servia back about a second, well, just under 2 seconds in third position among those cars who've already stopped. Now, let's catch up with our Bridgestone Passion for Excellence here this weekend. Jan Vikas is standing by.
And of course, what we like to do, Rick, after each pit stop is we like to go to Joe Barbieri from Bridgestone and take a look at the tires to come off what's this time the fastest car on the racetrack, Sébastien Bourdais. Joe, what do you see here on this tire?
Well, of course, with those few laps they ran right before that yellow came out, there's plenty of wear left on this tire. There's no doubt about it. Plenty of wear indicators showing. But the Bridgestones, even though they're a little softer tire this weekend, they can still spin them out there. You get just a tad of graining going on if they accelerate real too quickly.
So what we see here, this is what you term as graining. So therefore, if you spin the tires with the throttle, this is, if you continue to do this, would take away the rubber?
That's correct. You'd get a lot more wear in this section right here.
Alrighty, one of the things the drivers have to do, very cautious on the throttle. Thank you, Joe.
One of the most famous men in racing, Joe Barbieri. Fast becoming a TV
He's better known
star.
than you.
I think he is. People flocked for his autograph. Earlier today, thought he was a rock star with that nice long hair.
How about Ronnie Bremer in the AMR 19, the American Medical Response Machine from the Dale Coyne Stables? Ricardo Spirafico in the Sunny's 11. Well, everybody thought that Spirafico might be a factor here today. Got into the wall again. Got into another car, actually, and had to retire with a broken suspension bit. But Bremer on a much different fuel strategy. 40 laps on the board, and Bremer continues to lead. He's got a 1.5 second advantage over Bourdais, but Bremer has yet to make his first pit stop. So Bourdais in the McDonald's car ahead of Tracy by about 1.1 seconds right now. Servian, Dominguez, and Justin Wilson are next in line. 1.44 miles the distance here in the streets of San Jose. First time ever when Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford, in this part of Northern California, about 45 minutes south of San Francisco. Now let's ride with Sébastien Bourdais. Let's take it full throttle around this place as he tries to chase down Ronnie Bremer.
Here's that chicane we mentioned. Now this is first gear. The crashes, right side. Oh, this is good. Oh, traffic. Looked like somebody hit the wall on the right side. One of the HVM cars.
Might have been Rodolfo Levine, who was just getting refired at Ansan 55 from the HVM stables.
Oh, hear the red limiter. Car is still running from Bourdais.
You've had a lot of caution laps, remember. You kind of get the 2-for-1 discount when you run here under yellow.
Oh, crashes over the top of the curbs. Oh, it was.
Levine. They restarted the 55 car. He side-slapped the turn 4 wall. A third driver to get bitten there today, Derek.
Same one. It's the... Oh.
And you can see that he knocked the chassis off square badly in the 55.
Yeah, have a look again. Now a driver already knows I'm going to hit the wall. He doesn't know quite how hard. Boom! Hits it right there. Breaks the right rear suspension. What they do is they break the toe link. The link that actually keeps the wheel pointing straight. That's why the thing goes all cattywampus. He'll make his way back and maybe fix that thing. They don't look like they're in a hurry.
Levine, with the Corona beer backing, drove for the Forsyth team last season.
Yeah, he's done. That car will be blue, yellow, and white at the next race because you will see Corona support all over that car and for the rest of the year.
Taking the headrest out, Levine will be getting out of the car shortly. Riding here with Bourdais. This look off the back of the car, Derek, you really get a sense as Tracy closes into the Toyota hairpin of just how rough it is over that chicane, the curbing they put there.
And when you see Tracy pull up behind him, it just gives you an idea how difficult and how tight it is. And making the pass is so critical here that if you try and stick your nose down, make sure it's not a kamikaze move, you better be pretty sure you pull it off. So in a street race, you need to pressure the driver ahead, pressure him, pull up behind him, get under his rear wing. And Paul Tracy not quite able to do that as he runs in third place, and he is about 2 seconds clear of Servia in the Pacific Air car.
Working lap 44, 55 minutes of racing to go. Bourdais and Tracy trying to track down Ronnie Bremer, who has yet to make his first pit stop. We'll be back on Speed. Hey, stick with us tonight on on-speed wind tunnel with Dave Despeen. And we'll tell you more about tonight's schedule on wind tunnel when we come back. Meantime, Ronnie Bremer continues to lead in the AMR 19 car for the Dale Coyne team. He is on a much different strategy, but Derek, we just discovered he did make a pit stop very early. We began the race, a couple of laps under caution. He came in on lap number 3.
Because of the incident in the first time. Hustle. They want to get him in and out as fast as possible to see how little he can drop down the list here. But Bremer looks good here. Product, oh, look at him flying over the top of the curbs. Down at the chicane. Product of the Atlantic Series, the Champ Car Development Series. Had a victory in his 04 season, which was his rookie year. 5 podiums. Bremer looking good here. He can see now that Bourdais is coming in behind him. He needs a good, clean lap. He needs a good, clean pit stop. And he may get out. I want to see, can he make it to the top 10? He might still stay in the top 10.
And we've had 10 laps of yellow since that first stop he made, which has helped him tremendously here as we work lap 48. We're about halfway on time, 53 minutes gone, and here comes Bremer.
Guys, take your time.
Dale Coyne talking.
Put on the mark. Hustle.
Right on the mark, Eric Estrada on the outside front gives him the time, and the clock will tell you how this is going. The tires are done, the car is still in the air, fuel is waiting, going, and he is away. 11.5, reasonable. Where will he be in the field? That's important right now. Is he on the right strategy? Who knows yet?
Well, he's on a different strategy, that's for sure. Brian Maw, his engineer, that's the voice you heard, saying hustle. Brian Maw really has brought the performance of this team up since he moved from Rocket Sports to Dale Coyne. I'm sure he loves to see his car out in front there. Now the key is when he cycles round for timing and scoring, where will he end up?
Sebastian Bourdais takes over the lead once again in front of Tracy. Watch Bourdais coming to the Toyota hairpin. This is turn 3.
Big wide turn in. Oh, he gets a big drift on the way in. Misses the apex completely. He should be down here where Tracy is. Instead, he's up here on the outside. Wow, Bourdais hanging on here at the hairpin. Jan?
It's because the team had just called him and said, they gave him a lower fuel target and said, we'll give you some more fuel. We want to see if you can pull away from Paul Tracy. So he was trying to follow the orders there to pick up the pace, but a little too much in the hairpin.
These are the 2 championship points leaders in the Champ Car World Series.
Now here's the apex. It's in here, but look at Bourdais trying to control the car. This is the type of mistake Glock made in Edmonton that allowed the door to be open for Wilson. This almost opened the door for Paul Tracy right here.
Is that a case where Tracy just didn't have enough grip to go down the inside?
Wasn't close enough. Wasn't quite close enough.
50 laps on the board.
I can guarantee you if he was close enough, Tracy would have poked his nose right in there. The man who will crash or win doesn't make any difference with him. Again, look at Bourdais go over the curbs, just punishes the car, but it is faster to cut across the top of those curves.
Didn't make the same mistake twice. He keeps Tracy at bay by a second. Turn 4, which has been calamity corner for so many this weekend. We've had 3 drivers get into the wall there already today. What about Ronnie Bremer on that different pit stop cycle? Being shown 10th, Chris McClure, 30 seconds now off the lead.
30 seconds off the lead, but Dale Coyne has thought this through quite thoroughly, and you didn't risk much by staying out there.
No, he was 9th. Yeah, to put him in the lead, give him the experience. He stayed out there. He moved away from him. He was on lower tanks but older tires. That's a great experience for a rookie. At the end of the day, it only cost us 1 position. If we got a ton of yellows, we'd be heroes and looking pretty good, but that's unlikely. But nonetheless, it was a good move. I think not a lot of risk for a big reward, but small percentages, but worth it.
Driver development takes a lot of forms, fellas.
I think that was a really good move by Dale Coyne because he just ran 15 laps in the lead. Every car that's ahead of him, the top 9 cars are all going to stop 15 laps or so before he will stop. So he is going to cycle right back to the head of the classroom here again if he can just keep his nose clean.
Less than 50 minutes of racing to go through the streets of San Jose. Sebastian Bourdais leads Tracy and Serbia. We'll be right back here on Speed. Back in the streets of San Jose as we ride here with Justin Wilson. Tonight on Speed Wind Tunnel, my friend Dave Despain, Rusty Wallace in the co-host chair, taking a break from the chase for the Nextel Cup. Rusty's currently 4th in the Cup points. Retirement looming too. Plenty to talk about with this NASCAR great. Wind Tunnel with Dave Despain. And a special appearance by Catherine Legg, who won her 3rd Atlantic Series race of the season here earlier today. It's all tonight at 9 live only on Speed. Moments ago, as we watched Bourdais in the lead, his chief challenger Paul Tracy, Derek Daly, well, he had something happen that could well send him behind the wall based on what we've seen so far here this weekend.
Yeah. Made the mistake. Watch Tracy come up here. Watch the wall. Right here. Look at this. Just gives it a kiss. I'm not sure whether that did damage, but it's enough of a kiss as you watch a second time here. Boom. There's the concrete dust that comes off. If Tracy got away with that, that was a very, very lucky break.
We've had 4 cars into that wall in the last 2 days, including Ricardo Spirifico, who hit it a ton. Ryan Hunter-Reay hit it this morning. All Tracy did apparently was white wall that tire.
You just mentioned Nextel Cup. Paul Tracy will test on Tuesday for Richard Childress Racing in Michigan.
Yeah.
Not to potentially do a Busch race, but to actually try and qualify for the Nextel Cup race at Michigan.
You would expect that he might even try for Watkins Glen later on this year, but there's a schedule conflict there. So Rodolfo Levine behind the wall, his return to Champ Car. Chris McClure didn't end up the way he hoped.
No, not at all. Suspension again, the culprit. But welcome back. Tell us about your run.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be back, but unfortunately this is frustrating. You know, we were doing pretty good. We started 12, we were running 7. And then after the first pit stop, we lost 3 positions there. We had a problem with the fuel tube in there. And later on, I got a contact with another driver, and then I smashed the wall at the very end. We were doing the fastest race lap at that moment, and lap time were pretty fast, pretty quick, and the car was very well. So unfortunately, we just couldn't finish the race.
Maybe Denver it'll go better. We hope so.
Definitely. Denver has to be much better.
He's in the car for the rest of the year, guys. Is he capable? He was on the podium at Road America. Remember that?
Yes, he was, and had a couple of front row starting spots. Ryan Hunter-Reay has spun the Cytomax 31, the Rocket Sports car, 3rd time today.
Did you die on you, Ryan?
Yeah, he died on me again, just like last time. Just like what I mean from last time.
In the runoff area, full course yellow up, coming for Hunter-Reay. They just had repaired that car and got him back out there, and the word from the engineering staff you heard, it had died once again. So perhaps not a spin, but just no fire in the hole.
That is frustrating for Ryan Hunter-Reay. He was so spectacular last year, particularly when he won at Milwaukee, led every lap, 250 laps, a record. Jim Marshall. He actually hit the wall on the left side, broke the left suspension, so they're going to drag him back and give him a drink, put him away, polish his helmet, get him ready for the next race. Oh, we're full course yellow. We're all going to have a drink
for the moment. Ricardo Spirifico in the wall. As we told you, A.J. Almendinger early in the chase. Andrew Ranger got into the wall and caused problems in his oiling system and motor. Nelson Philippe with a mechanical problem. Rodolfo Levine had cracked the wall. And Marcus Marshall, the most recent retiree. Caution again on the speedway today, and we've run 13 laps of yellow so far. This will be our 3rd caution of the afternoon as they go also to retrieve the 31 car of Ryan Hunter-Reay in one of the runoff areas here. Safety crew 3 down there. Dr. Chris Pendersky, who's the medical director of Champ Car, leads that group with Jeff Knapp and Todd Johnson and Mike Carey as they go to work here in the streets of San Jose. What a wonderful event. First time Festival of Speed. Ronnie Bremer going by in the AMR 19 car. Bremer may benefit greatly from this.
Absolutely, that's it.
Huge crowds here all 3 days, over 90,000 on Friday and Saturday total, and a packed house today, 62,371. More than 153,000 fans. 1 million plus fans have come to see the Champ Car World Series this season. And the folks who are in charge of Bridgestone Presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford certainly extend their thanks to all who have come out to see this great race series. Coast to coast, border to border, Canada, Mexico. And upcoming in the fall, of course, the first ever trip to Korea, Ansan in South Korea, and the annual trip to Surfers Paradise in Australia. Coverage of those events, of course, here exclusively on Speed. Full course yellow again. And Ryan Hunter-Reay says that's it for the day. Young driver out of Florida. puts his helmet inside the safety vehicle. He'll take the long ride back to the paddock. He's smiling at least. They've had a struggle-filled afternoon here, and the engine apparently just would not go any further in the Cytomax number 34.
Even Cytomax, as good as it is, won't fix that problem. The frustrating thing is, it appears from the radio broadcast that we heard, it is something simple, maybe electrical, but the thing just died, which leaves Ryan Hunter-Reay out to talk to the fans, and they have just jammed this city here all weekend.
Didn't get a chance to finish the story, and we'll try to here as pit stops unfold momentarily. But Ronnie Bremer, we heard from Dale Coyne, if they get some cautions, they could turn up heroes in all this.
Well, we hear now, and in fact, right outside our announce booth here, we see everybody getting lined up. So just about maybe everybody ahead of Ronnie Bremer is going to head for the pit lane, who's going to cycle him right back to the head of the class.
Well, let's tell you about Tuesday nights here on Speed. It's Texas Hardtails, a peek into the life and times of renowned bike builder Rick Fairless and his custom bike shop, Texas Hardtails. Mostly true, totally unreal. Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, exclusively on Speed, as we take a look at the teams over the wall, up on the wall with tires at the ready, and we will see who decides to do what as we are an hour 6 into this hour 45 timed event, 39 minutes to go. And Derek, at these speeds with caution laps, you might only see another 30 or 35 laps of racing. This could well be the decisive stop, the final one of the day for some of the front runners.
And you know what I also see? Ronnie Bremer's crew is outside our window here. They appear to be set up for him also, so maybe Bremer is not going to stay out and take the chance.
Everybody coming down pit road. Justin Wilson in 6th. Helmet cam, one of his crew members, Larry Ellert, working the air jacks today. Larry Ellert, he gets out in front of Mario Dominguez.
Let's save us a little fuel here.
Sebastian Bourdais leads him off pit road. Wilson did it with a great stop. Looks like Wilson will come off pit road in 4th. 3rd is Servia, 2nd is Tracy, behind Bourdais, and I think that's Wilson in 4th spot. Let's take a look as they come through the Toyota hairpin. It is Justin Wilson.
Okay, there's Wilson. Where's Bremer? There's Dominguez. There goes Vasser, Gluck, Bremer right there. So he did come in. So Bremer is now with the leaders, and he is about 7th or 8th position. I think he's ahead of Tagliani.
There's Jimmy Vasser, who's had repairs done to his car. Jimmy 12th. He is 11 laps down. They broke a suspension bit earlier. Let's ride with Vasser under caution in the Taylor Woodrow Gulfstream Lola.
Jimmy,
turn 6.
Yeah, you mentioned Jimmy grew up in the Bay Area here. Talking about retiring. Oldest
Which corners, Jimmy? Which ones in particular? All of them, really. I think the one after the hairpin, the left-hander, whatever they call it now, 4, and then the 6, 4 and 6 predominantly.
They call it difficult, Jimmy. 4 is where we saw.
They tell him not to blow it.
He's asked.
2 or 2.
He thinks the blower, the jet dryer, the jet blower.
Shit, I mean, we want some guys to bow out, so if they make mistakes, they're going to hit the fence. I guess tell them not to. I guess I'll just take back what I said.
Whoa, Jimmy. So when you can't take advantage, let's hope somebody else gets tripped up by it. So the corner he's talking about is number 4. That's where we saw the accidents earlier. Almendinger, Ranger, and we saw Tracy Kissin. So Vasser's hoping he can be careful, not get tripped up with the concrete, and somebody else ahead of him potentially can, because Vasser right now is in 12th place.
Now Bjorn Verdheim has stayed out in the Eurosport number 4, one of the HVM cars. He is the leader at the moment in front of Bourdais, Tracy, Servia, and Justin Wilson. We were there with Larry Ellert, who had his helmet cam on, working the air jacks. Wilson gained a couple of spots on pit road as we watched Sebastian Bourdais. Now here's what happened as the leaders came to pit road. Jan Vikas.
And one of the things that Sebastian Bourdais did is he put on sticker tires, and the rest of the cars behind him went with scrubs. Sebastian Bourdais made a very quick stop, and then watch Paul Tracy. He keeps his position again. The Forsyth Index crew very fast. No change of position, but a lot of changes up and down pit road for Sebastian Bourdais. He said that he has clipped the wall with the front of the car at some stage, has some understeer, thinks it's changed the toe of the car, and in fact, they tried to make those changes with tire pressure during the pit stop.
And the toe of the car is the wheels point straight. If you have toe in, the wheels point in. If you have toe out, the wheels will point out like this. So if you touch the concrete wall, you change potentially what should be a straight ahead position for those two front wheels.
Now we'll see what happens as Bourdais prepares to lead the field to green. 35 minutes, less than 35 minutes of racing remaining. This is a timed event today, first time ever here on the streets of San Jose as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. The Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix of San Jose, 8th race of 2005. Bringing it to you live here on Speed. Bourdais second right at the moment behind Bjorn Verdheim, who has not yet taken his pit stop. Everyone behind the Champ Car pace car. Linda Pope's driving the pace car today. Allison Altman alongside. We'll be right back with more here on Speed. More than 250,000 people in what is now the 10th biggest city in America. Waiting for a restart next time by. Bjorn Verdheim, Derek Daly, has led laps under caution. We thought they were going to pit him before the restart, but if it's one to go till green, he's still out there.
Don't know. I don't understand that strategy. Maybe it's because we see him now leading the field and he's on television, but there's no reason he will end up pitting when it's green, when he could have pitted under yellow when it's going slow.
Well, we're getting a report that the Ansan team, or that the HVM team with Liqui-Moly joining them as a sponsor this weekend on the Eurosport number 4, that they have taken their tires off the wall, and they may be planning to leave Verdheim out there right now. Coming up on 30 minutes of racing remaining, should be about 24, 25 laps, Chris McClure.
Yeah, it's beyond that, actually. It's a little over 30 since he's been in. I just asked Keith Wiggins, when are you going to pit him? He said, don't know yet. They're playing it cool. And it's got to be within half a dozen laps, one would think.
We've had 3 caution periods. This is the 3rd full course yellow of the day, so we've had a lot of yellow laps here. And remember, you get about 2 for 1 fuel-wise when you run under caution, but I don't think Verdheim can get home the last 25 laps.
No. This is, again, a strategic move, hoping something happens as he runs short of fuel that slows everybody else down, but he's going to need more than Liqui-Moly to make this turn into a potential podium situation, but at least the Eurosport car with Bjorn Verdheim is out in front of him. Look at the line behind. That was Vince Kramer, his team manager.
Green flag reappears, not this time. We were expecting a restart. The yellow stays out. It will stay full course caution. So apparently Champ Car officials decided they didn't like the way the field came off the final corner. There was a message being delivered to the Newman Haas team for Sebastian Bourdais, the McDonald's 1, that they wanted him to be nose to tail with Verdheim. So a warning issued to Bourdais. They wanted him to be uptight on Verdheim for a smooth restart. As we run under caution, let's show you the drivers behind the wall already. Right now, only 11 cars left in competition. It started with A.J. Almendinger, highest of high hopes here today, a hometown race for him. Young Andrew Ranger at age 18, also in trouble over in turn 4.
Same ball catches Rodolfo Levin.
Levin broke the rear suspension, and then Paul Tracy. This was really a matter of concern because Tracy got into the wall right here in turn 4.
Lucky to get away with it there, and now we do have a green flag start.
Beginning lap 67, green flag, J.D. Wilbur in the air. Oriol Sylvia, the Pacific Air 2 car, outside pole starter, restarts 4th. Bourdais chasing the car of Bjorn Verdheim, the Liqui-Moly number 4, the HVM car. 3rd spot, Tracy, the Index number 3. Back in 5th, Justin Wilson. Mario Dominguez restarts in 6th. Cristiano Damata, who's battled a car he hasn't cared much for all weekend. He is 7th in the Bell Micro 21 in front of Timo Glock. Ronnie Bremer, now Glock and Bremer locked in a good battle for Rookie of the Year honors. Dale Coyne's strategy to get back on the same fuel strategy as the rest of the leaders when we had that caution, and that should have allowed everyone to make their final stop together with less than 30 laps to go here.
Now Tracy is all over the back of Bourdais here. Bourdais knows that Verdheim is lighter on fuel, potentially faster. This is not the first time that HVM cars have led this year. They've got 3 wins in 5 years, but Bjorn Verdheim who has struggled in the middle of the season, now has a chance to see, can he run with the big boys?
And this also an opportunity for Paul Tracy as we watch Tracy working his way up on Bourdais. Here's Bourdais drawing close to Verdheim. Only rookies to have led races in 05. They've done it 3 times. This makes it 4. They picked up some new backing here this weekend on both the HVM cars, not just Liquimali for Verdheim, but the South Bay Plastering Contractors, a local firm here, local association here. They've gotten on board with HVM for this first ever Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix of San Jose. Huge crowds all weekend. More than 160,000 fans here enjoy this festival of speed that's been going on really all week long. Tight racing, lots of action. The course has been an issue all weekend long. Here is Verdheim trying to hang on to the point with Bourdais in his wake.
How long can he run? He can see his mirrors filled now with the McDonald's car. Here's the jump right here. This is still 170 miles an hour down to the brake zone for the chicane. And Verdheim is one of the fastest cars over that chicane. He puts his left wheel almost right, I mean literally drives over the top of the chicane.
Now Verdheim is a former F3000 champion. We know he's very capable. Taking the leaders through the Toyota hairpin now into the very difficult turn number 4.
Oh yeah, he's done this before. He's been in this type of pressure situation before. He then went for the F3000 Championship, which he won in 04 with 4 wins, to become the Jaguar Formula 1 test driver. So, although we have him in the rookie fight, he is no rookie for all intents and purposes. He has been in the pressure cooker in the past, but nothing like this here with Bourdais right behind him.
Coming up on 25 minutes of racing to go. Working lap 69. Keith Wiggins and the HVM team watching from the pit box, checking the fuel, checking the telemetry off the race car as they come down the front stretch through that dog leg over the trolley tracks.
And it's not going to last because we know he's going to have to peel the car, the RuSPORT car, off to the pits pretty soon. Bourdais knows that, but I can tell you, I bet you Tracy is trying to figure out a way to close in on Bourdais and maybe pounce while he follows Bjorn Verdheim.
Now, if you're Bourdais, do you take a chance and try to get around Verdheim here and put Tracy back a car, or do you just be patient and ride?
For Bourdais, you gotta be patient. Vasser comes in the Gulfstream car, but Bourdais has to be patient.
All right, somebody get the fan, please.
He leads the championship, as does Verdheim, or does Bourdais. So even if he doesn't win this race, which is unlikely, he still will get more points than Tracy if he keeps Tracy behind him, no matter how it happens.
Bjorn Verdheim leads the 1 car of Sebastian Bourdais, the defending series champ, the McDonald's machine. The Index 3 in 3rd spot. Oriol Servia 4th in that Pacific Air number 2. Justin Wilson has moved to 5th. He was 4th off pit road last time he got around Mario Dominguez's Index number 7. So Wilson in the Intel number 9 for the RuSPORT team, carrying the colors here. Just half a second the gap between Verdheim and Bourdais as the clock winds down. Less than 25 minutes of racing remain.
Fastest lap last time by was Tracy at a 57.0, which is 0.2 of a second faster than Bourdais and Verdheim, and a 1/10 of a second faster than Servia. But Wilson did a 56.8, so Wilson and Dominguez are actually again, as they were earlier, running faster than the lead cars.
Well, as the laps wind down, Chris McClure, Verdheim stays out in front of HVM. What's Keith Wiggins thinking down there?
Well, we'll have to ask Keith Wiggins. I'll tap him on the arm here. Everything's still on the wall, Keith. You've been a long time on this run, How long can you go?
About now.
About now. Next time? He's coming in next time. Remember Monterey, guys, he did the same thing late in the race. Finished 8th.
We'll see how it plays out from Bjorn Verdheim. Leaders through the Toyota hairpin into that very, very tough turn 4 that has caught so many drivers out here this weekend. They've actually moved that wall once, Derek Daly. They moved the outside wall back about 3 feet after Friday, and it's still too tight in there for many of them.
Constant modifications as the sessions went on here. I'm sure more changes.
Oh, Bourdais drags the brakes.
Yikes, and it was an outside wheel, which is most unusual. Usually the lightly loaded inside wheel is the one that locks up. But there goes Verdheim. Look straight ahead into the pits. Now Bourdais in a straight fight with Tracy and his own teammate Servia.
Bjorn Verdheim, the Liquimali RuSPORT 4, Chris McClure.
He is up on the jacks. It's well underway. The fuel is what's left. He revs the engine right on the limiter, and away he goes. Brett Snyder said, go, go, go. 11-1, reasonable once again.
Yeah, because he doesn't need that much fuel. He doesn't need as much fuel to stay stopped as long as these guys, because they've burned off now 2 or 3 or 4 gallons.
We should be about 17, 18 laps from the finish here today. Timed event for Champ Car. They couldn't get a good measurement on this track because they didn't get possession of the track until Friday, so it's hard to calculate how many laps you'd expect to run in an hour 45 with no previous race experience here either to have a guess as to what sort of attrition there might be. There's Wilson in that Intel CDW number 9 for the RuSPORT bunch, closing that gap down. Bourdais lead over Tracy, 6/10 last time by. Serbia just 4/10 back in third. There's Wilson. Wilson right there in fourth as we listen to Neil Mickelwright talking to Paul Tracy.
Wow, Dominguez's car jumps and goes sideways over the railway tracks, but Wilson on the last lap before this was the fastest car. However, Bourdais just goes 4/10 of a second quicker than everybody on that last lap, and that's the gap now that you see between him and Tracy.
Now let me ask you a question, Derek. As we watch Tracy, he smacked the wall once, apparently not badly enough to do any lasting damage to the 3 car. The Cosworth power to pass numbers, we saw them at the top of the screen. 50 extra horsepower on tap, that button on the steering wheel. Tracy's barely touched his. Is this too tight a racetrack to use push to pass?
You can really only use it down the front straight, and Paul will know that he has it left should he need it, but you really need to be right behind the car you're trying to pass. He needs to make sure he gets up behind Bourdais before he jumps on that extra 50 horsepower. Down here, that's the only place really you can use it.
Bourdais leading in the McDonald's 1. His nemesis Tracy, 1 and 2 in the championship. Tracy a couple of car lengths back. As Tracy has matured as a driver, Derek, I notice he doesn't seem to get as frustrated as easily. Although yesterday, his temper boiled over a bit during qualifying.
It did. He went down to Serbia. We showed you that earlier on. He's not afraid to make his concerns known. Tracy, for a long time, is one of those drivers. As soon as you saw him in your mirrors in qualifying, you just pulled over because you knew he was going to come like a bull in a china shop. But on a track like this, you got to be careful.
More repairs done to the Gulfstream Taylor Woodrow car of Jimmy Vasser. We started to mention a moment ago he was still on pit road, but Vasser returning to the fray here as the minutes wind down. 20 minutes of racing to go through the streets of San Jose. We are live on Speed. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. More from the Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix upcoming. Welcome back to San Jose on Speed. 2002 Champ Car champion Cristiano Tabata, turn 4 again. Let's have a look.
Again, just brushes it with the right front and then just whacks it with the right rear.
Peeled the tire off the rim. He hit it so hard.
I don't know whether he can. No, I was going to say I don't know whether he can limp back to the pits. There's so much damage on that. They're going to have to hoist him out of there. Just a couple of minutes ago, his teammate Jimmy Vasser appeared to break another suspension on the left rear corner of his. There's Dave Hollander. Dave Hollander here. Long time member of the Champ Car safety crew. Vasser, this is Vasser working on the left rear suspension of that. They're going to try and fix him. Tag also has a broken left rear suspension, which they may also try and fix. Jan?
They are working on the left rear push rod for Alex Tagliani. That has been the recurring theme up and down pit road. If I reach over here, let me show you what a push rod is. This is what they are replacing. This bears the entire load of the car itself on that corner. You can see, look at the difference. On one, you can see a very obvious kink in this push rod, and that happens when you either get coil bound or the car hits, and on the packers, as they're called, in other words, no more suspension. The only thing that has to give is that push rod.
That's right, coil bound. The shock absorber and spring comes all the way down fully. The coils bind up, and if there's more play inside the shock absorber, the next thing that gives is that push rod. Tagliani actually broke a push rod during practice here. Chris?
Jimmy Vasser getting congratulations in his pit. Man, you tried as hard as you could to stay out there, that's for sure.
Well, we knew it was going to be a grind today.
we could hang in there and get some points for the PKV Gulfstream Taylor Woodrow car. But you know, what a great day here! Great weather, great fans out here. You know, we just wanted to finish this race and get some good points. And we kept having a failure in the left rear push rod. This time, I think we just figured that we can't get anybody else with the time left. So, you know, it's a little unfortunate.
I know that the fans around here appreciate a California boy giving them that kind of effort.
Thanks a lot.
The 1996 Champ Car World Series champion Jimmy Vasser, done for the afternoon. He was 11th at the time in that Gulfstream Taylor Woodrow PKV car. Let's have a listen to Vasser as this all took place.
Get another push rod ready, boys. Something's got me wrong. We're parking it this time. Copy.
They'd already replaced one of those push rods earlier in the 12 car and gotten him back out there, and then the decision quickly to park the car behind the wall. So full course yellow. Now we've got 13.5 minutes to go, Derek Daly. There are only 8 cars remaining in competition at this point. Cristiano D'Amata done for the day, the teammate car to Vasser in the 21, the Bell Micro machine, after a hard hit into the turn 4 wall. Tagliani on pit road for the moment. They may be able to fix that car, but we might only have 8 cars left and just a handful of laps remaining for Bourdais, Tracy and Servia, Wilson, Dominguez and Glock, Bremer and Bjorn Ferdheim left in competition. Wednesday nights on Speed. If you think you can't improve on perfection, you haven't seen Unique Whips. Will Castro takes cars of the stars, turns them into one-of-a-kind works of art. The car is just a car until it becomes unique on Unique Whips, Wednesdays at 9 Eastern and Pacific, only here on Speed. With Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin, Jan Mikas and Chris McClure are on pit road. Pit road is open now with, less than 13 minutes. 12:45 left of racing. Under caution, you don't pick up any speed to speak of, obviously. You don't run very quick laps at all. So we may see as few as 7 or 8 laps left here, Derek.
On board now with Wilson. Oh.
The cowl has come off the 9 car. How does that work? The Intel number 9, the RuSPORT car, the bodywork loose, and he slaps it back down. No riding mechanic.
Yeah.
Copy on the blower, blowing your head off.
It's not.
No,
it's not going to last. He's going to have to either eject it.
Talking about the front damper cover?
Hopefully it blows off.
They call that the front damper cover.
Yeah.
Just going to have to run with it like that, Justin.
Yeah, what he needs is for it to blow off. That's what he needs.
Well, now with the wind coming across the nose, will it hold it down?
Potentially it can. I think it'll get underneath it and whip it off. Wilson, who was running down Servia, that's Servia right ahead of him.
Actually, stay put. It slips in at the front. It's got another fastener at the rear. It's going to be a little distracting, but it should stay put.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
What was even more distracting, Justin Wilson has a very large donut-shaped foam pad on his right elbow because he hit it so hard in the cockpit over these bumps in practice and qualifying that he actually thought he broke his elbow. It was that painful, he hit it that hard. So he is in some discomfort inside the cockpit also. But this is going to be interesting to see that stay on.
Wilson in the Intel number 9. CDW also on the car. Bought CDW a win. And RuSPORT their first ever win at Toronto just a couple of weeks ago. Had that heartbreak at Edmonton when he was very much in contention behind his teammate A.J. Almendinger. Lit up the back tires under caution. He's considered to be an expert driver on cold tires. Preparing for a restart, he goosed the throttle. The car came around on him. He went off the racetrack, and that ended his bid at Edmonton just 2 weeks ago. So from here, 2 weeks from now, we go to Denver for the Centrix Financial Grand Prix of Denver. You'll see it live here on Speed in the month of August. And then it's Montreal. September sees us at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Second oval round of the season with a Saturday night show along with the NASCAR Craftsman trucks here on Speed.
You'll get the one finger this time. A little east brakes and a little...
We're hearing that Alex Tagliani, they've effected repairs to the 15, the Aussie Vineyards machine for Derek Walker's team. And Tag is back on the racetrack 3 laps down. So 9 cars will take the restart green. Let's have another look here.
Have a look at this. This is the jet dryer over here. Look at this. I think the jet dryer... Actually, it was the jet dryer, the force of air from behind the car that dislodged the shock cover on Justin Wilson's car. So perhaps it is correct that what Todd Malloy just said is when he begins to run, this thing should actually come back down again and keep itself in place. Wow, I've never seen that happen before.
Now, there's what they call a Zeus fastener that keeps these in place. And what we heard from the crew was there's at least a fastener in front holding it down.
Right.
And at speed, the airflow over the nose of the car should keep it in place once we go green again.
Here's the jet dryer again.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you see what he did? He drove away from it. Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
No. So
Clock.
The jet dryer works.
Absolutely it does. Of course, they're using it to blow grit and debris off the racetrack to try to give these Champ Car stars as much raceable surface as they can in the final 9 minutes, 15 seconds. Still caution, Jan Vikas. What about power to pass numbers?
Very interesting that Paul Tracy has been saving his Cosworth power to pass. He has 58 seconds remaining, 42 for Bourdais, 39 for Serbia. So very interesting that if you were saving it, this is the time. In fact, you'd want to be pushing that button as many times as you can on this restart.
Lights out on the safety car. Linda Pope's at the wheel. She'll head for pit road. Bourdais will bring them through the final corner. 8.5 minutes, 8:45 of racing to go. Time for 7 or 8 laps. Here we go.
Bourdais got a spectacular jump over Paul Tracy.
Bourdais is on the power to pass, but as is Tracy, as is Wilson. Into the Toyota hairpin.
This will be good stuff now from here to the end, because you better be mistake-free. This is when you're really called upon to run fast and make sure you do not do what we've seen many drivers do all afternoon here.
Remember, Tracy in second kissed that turn 4 wall once already. There he is, the driver of the index number 3, second in the championship, second in the race.
Across the railway tracks again. That's when you see the cars jump up and down. This is down to turn 10. Hard to pass here. The only place to pass, realistically, is off turn 11. If you can get through turns 1 and 2 over the railway tracks, maybe sneak down to the side at the chicane, but you got to be really close.
Tracy was on the power to pass button as they came off turn 11 down the front straightaway, but he's off of it now as they hit the chicane. Wilson 4th, Dominguez 5th. Top 5 pulling away. Timo Glock with another good day. There he is in the DHL Global Mail 8 car. The yellow car, the Rocket Sports machine. Glock up to 6th.
And that's Bremer right behind him, and that is the Rookie of the Year fight. Glock and Bremer. There goes Dominguez. There's Glock. Glock's been fast every session here. This is not just something that unfolded on race day. This DHL Rocket Sports car has been fast every session on this racetrack.
There's Ronnie Bremer, who led laps earlier. Different fuel strategy for Dale Coyne's team in the AMR number 19. Now, Bremer was 6th at Edmonton, Derek. He's on his way to his 2nd straight top 10 for the Dale Coyne Racing bunch in that 19 car. Timo Glock putting down some terrific laps, a 59.1, Chris McClure. That's got to put a smile on Paul Gentilosi's face.
Yeah, it does. He's watching with intensity, certainly. Paul Gentilosi always watches with intensity. 2 straight races, he's in the hunt. This is good.
Well, it's a good comeback, I think, for the team, and for Timo helps a lot. His confidence. We got beat a little bit in the pits because of our pit position. I think it cost us at least 2.
But he's coming along, and the team has struggled. I think everybody knows that. This midsummer surge is something that you can hang your hat on, I would assume.
Well, 2 races in a row. We're going to finish better than we had been, but certainly not as good as we expect. I think there's more to come.
More to come, but at least they're turning it around a bit.
Glock in 6th. He's got about a second over Ronnie Bremer, one of his chief nemesis in the battle for Roche France Rookie of the Year honors, as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. 5:45 of racing to go. 5, maybe 6 laps left here around the 1.4-mile streets of San Jose. And Bourdais has opened up a significant lead now over Tracy. As we ride here, this is Justin Wilson, the CDW SanDisk Intel number 9. He is in front of Mario Dominguez as they battle for 4th.
And Wilson, the problem he has now is he's trying to watch Serbia and try and make a pass on him, but his mirror is full. If he makes even a slight bobble, Dominguez is absolutely going to pounce. Dominguez, we said earlier, was the fastest man in the warm-up this morning. Moved over to beat Paul Tracy's teammate the day before Long Beach practice started, so he really has had no winter testing of note, and really beginning, particularly this weekend, to run really on the pace.
Riding with Wilson out of turn 11, onto the front straightaway. Couple of laps to go. Less than 4.5 minutes of racing remaining here in San Jose. Cosworth telemetry from Ford, top of your screen.
Oh, Dominguez is quick through that chicane again. He puts the left side wheels further over the curve than Wilson does, just sails over the top of it, and you can see into the hairpin, just closes way up on him. Here's the dreaded turn 4 right there.
Dominguez trying to hold Timo Glock at bay back there as well in the Rocket Sports number 8, the DHL Global Mail car. Should be about 3 laps to go next time by. 4 minutes of racing remain. 25 seconds of Cosworth power to pass time remaining. He's had trouble there in turn 11 before this weekend.
And that gives you an idea just how hard Justin Wilson runs here. Still locking the brakes with a couple of laps to go. When you burn that rubber, Dominguez can smell it in his cockpit.
5 to go, 5 to go.
And the more pressure he can put on Wilson, the more potential it is to pressure a driver into a tiny mistake. That's all you need here.
Up front, Bourdais has pulled away. He's put Paul Tracy away. Bourdais has opened up a 3.7-second lead over Tracy as the laps wind down. There's the clock, top left of your screen, next to our speed strip with the running order. 3.5 minutes left. Time for 3 more laps here in San Jose, maybe a 4th, if they can begin 1 more lap before time runs out.
Is Paul Tracy okay, as he just dropped off the pace here in the road?
Well, he's backed up to 56 seconds, about 8/10 off of Bourdais' pace. But he ran the last lap 8/10 quicker than Serbia in 3rd, so Serbia's no threat either. Oriol Serbia in the Pacific Air 2 car for Newman Haas. He'll have to wait another day for his first career Champ Car victory. Alex Tagliani going back out onto the racetrack in 9th position. Last car running, he had pitted again. They've replaced rear suspension bits in the Aussie Vineyards car a couple of times. Tagged back on the track for the last couple of moments. Serbia now under heavy pressure by Justin Wilson in the Intel 9 and Dominguez in the Index 7.
Oh, this may not be over yet, and Glock is right behind these 3 here watching. There is Bremer also, and Wertheim. So this is where the battle is.
3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th all in play here as the minutes and the laps wind down in San Jose.
And Dominguez looks like the fastest car of this group here. He looks like he is the one, the car that has more grip, particularly in the brake zone. You see the brake zone right here. He brakes later and can turn in just a tad quicker, it seems, than Wilson.
Last time by, Dominguez ran a 57.029. Glock ran a 57.090. So they were the 2 quickest cars. They're back there in 5th and 6th. Here's Serbia hanging on to 3rd. Less than 2 minutes to go. Should have time for 2 more laps.
Wow, I'll be really curious what... Oh, Dominguez! Dominguez cuts the chicane completely. Now, you can do that as long as you do not gain a position. Dominguez will know. Look, look, look. He's moving away. He's moving back, letting Wilson get away. You cannot make up any ground by cutting that chicane.
Serbia in the Pacific Air car still runs 3rd, 10.8 seconds behind his teammate Bourdais, who appears to be on his way to a virtual flag-to-flag win today in the McDonald's number 1. Bourdais would add to his points lead. It would be his 3rd victory of 2005. He gave up the lead after pit stops a couple of times. Ronnie Bremer has led laps. Bjorn Wertheim has led laps here. But basically, it has been all Bourdais.
Already has 12 wins. That was what he got in Edmonton, which betters Alex Zanardi's record of 12 wins and 41 starts. So Bourdais, we've known how good he is for quite a while, but he just has a consistency, Rick, also. You just don't sense that he's going to make the type of mistakes that has tripped up so many drivers today.
And you had told us at the top of the broadcast that had not been the way his weekend had gone through each session. He put down 1 or 2 quick laps and a lot of laps where he seemed off the pace.
Yeah, whether he was testing the car, whether he was just giving room to other people, whether he was just getting his bearings, whatever it was. But when it came out and it was time to lay it down in qualifying, the good guys always just seem to find.
Bring it home.
1 lap to go. J.D. Wilbur puts the white flag on display here in San Jose, and Bourdais just needs to keep it between the concrete walls, down to the chicane one more time.
Boy, they'll be glad to get this animal over and done with. I have never seen a situation before that can punish a driver inside a racing car like we have witnessed when you go through this chicane on the front straight over the railway line. So Sebastian Bourdais will get a well-earned rest if he can just make around this half a lap.
Bourdais on the pole for the third time this season, his third Bridgestone pole award in 2005. Driver of the McDonald's, Newman Haas, #1 to turn number 10.
And Paul Newman is here, as he is all the time. Newman Haas have never, ever won back-to-back championships, believe it or not. This is our 375th event.
Heading to the checkered flag, Sebastian Bourdais, the winner. Bourdais wins his third race of 2005. Tracy runs second. Serbia gets third. Justin Wilson is fourth, and Mario Dominguez rounds out the
all the guys who worked so late both nights this week. That paid off, and I appreciate it. Thanks for all the hard work.
Bourdais treating the fans at the end of the main straightaway down in the Toyota hairpin. Some donuts this afternoon.
No, they're not donuts.
Are they croissants?
They are definitely French croissants. They were the ugliest ones.
Do not enter the pit.
They are the ugliest ones so far this season. I'm surprised he tried to do it in the confines of this concrete canyon here. It's so tight.
Ronnie Bremer rolling by. The AMR 19 comes home in 7th. Good day for Bremer and that team.
Yeah, I think Bremer and Wertheim and Glock can be pretty proud of what they've done here. To come to a circuit is... Oh, he's going to try it again. He heard us. Now he's going to try it again. Come on, Seb. Let's see what you can do. Okay, pretty good. There's a croissant. Perfect croissant. We're going to have to teach him. There's Mickey Mouse ears.
Now, do you have a donut school at the Derek Daly Academy?
I don't have a donut school, and actually I've never done a donut. But I've stayed in the Holiday Inn Express.
Bourdais on the backside of the racetrack, earning the plaudits of the huge crowd. More than 60,000 fans here today in San Jose to watch the inaugural Taylor Woodrow Grand Prix of San Jose, and you saw it all live here on Speed. More than 160,000 fans all weekend long. A terrific event, a week-long festival of speed. Second consecutive inaugural event for Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. And another huge success at the box office. As here comes Bourdais out on the front straightaway for the final time today. Podium activities about to get underway right here short of the start-finish line.
This is probably one of the most satisfying wins, Rick, for this team, for this driver. They have stayed late every night to put extra man hours in to go through all the fine details to make sure this racetrack did not break this racing car. So this was a job well done here.
Unofficially, 4 caution periods on the day. Lead changes numbered 4. Bourdais, Bremer, and Wertheim, the drivers who led today, and Bourdais took the lead back as Bremer and Wertheim made pit stops later in the day. So Bourdais takes the helmet off, puts the Bridgestone winner's cap on. Billy Camphausen from Champ Car there to assist him out of the car along with his McDonald's team. And we will chat with the winner upcoming here in the streets of San Jose. Series resumes action here on Speed in 2 weeks. The Centrix Financial Grand Prix of Denver upcoming in the middle of August, and we hope you can join us there. An impressive effort by this team, Derek Daly, certainly, and a very strong run for Bourdais.
Yeah, this is a physical workout unlike he has had in the past, and satisfaction for all of those guys there for building such a good, fast, reliable car.
And the golden horseshoe. He has the golden horseshoe, Derek, and of course that's what Paul Tracy said you had that was the winning ingredient. But today, I think you had a car that held together on a very rough racetrack. Was that the key?
Yeah, I think it was definitely the key. The key was also to start up front and stay up front, and we made it happen, and I'm so very happy for these guys at Newman Haas. They completely put the car in pieces and rebuilt it in the night, and that paid off. The thing stayed together the whole day, and that's great for the McDonald's crew.
Did you change the way you drove to try and baby the chassis? Because we saw a lot of people not as fortunate, a lot of attrition in this race.
Well, I think probably have to attribute it to the team because they did a very awesome job to prepare the car. It was like a tank.
Any close moments for you?
Thanks to the crowd for coming out. It was really an awesome day. for our first time here in San Jose. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Sebastian Bourdais, his third of the season.
8 races this year. The Newman Haas team has put at least one car on the podium all 8 weeks of the season. Servia and Bourdais with 4 each. Bruno Junqueira on the podium both times before he was injured at Indy. Let's hear more from the top 3 finishers. Over to Chris McClure.
We're with Oriol Servia and Paul Tracy. Paul, first we have to ask about getting the car home. On this place, a chore.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough race. I mean, you just can't afford to make a mistake. And we weren't really close enough to Sebastian. He only made one mistake in the hairpin where he locked up and ran wide, and I wasn't close enough to capitalize on it. But it was a good day for our team. We got ahead of Oriol on the pit stop. We just weren't ever close enough to Sebastian to try to beat him on the pit stop. And it's a great day for San Jose and a great race, and we'll come back and put on a better show next year.
Any close moments for you?
No close moments. Really just followed Sebastian home, and in the end, he was quick at the end, and we just decided to go for second place.
Well done.
Thank you.
Paul Tracy, now we turn to Oriol Servia. First question. Was something broke on that car toward the end?
Well, the last 5 laps, I felt like something went loose, and I had to brake towards braking to one side. So I don't know, something went loose at least. But the car was, it's already a miracle that everything went well all weekend here. We had no issues, and was a good race. Just we couldn't win today. Sebastian did great for the team, but Pacific car again on the podium, so that's a good finish for us.
Again, we've asked everyone, any close moments out there on a very tight track?
A few actually, but it's just a fight within yourself because it's so difficult, especially on restarts. Tires are so cold and over the concrete. You feel you're going very slow, but you see the wall coming way too quick. So you got to stay very, very focused the whole time.
There he is, third place, Oriol. Again, a podium.
Bourdais wins. Tracy runs second. Oriol Servia in relief of Bruno Junqueira comes home in third. Justin Wilson ends up fourth. We'll have more for you from the streets of San Jose when we come back on Speed.